Flyers comeback falls short and in a Keystone rivalry game that was sloppy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patrick Glenn, and welcome to the Orange and Black Attack. Flyers fall to the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-3 at the Consol Energy Center in Pittsburgh. Flyers had a chance to dominate this game. They dominated it in the first period, but the Penguins' speed was too much for the Flyers as the Penguins come back and score four straight unanswered goals to beat the Flyers 4-3. Once again, I'm Patrick Glenn, and welcome to the Orange and Black Attack. Let's get into this. Flyers strike first in this game on the power play. Nice little play to get it over to the pointing. Shot from the point from Ghost falls right in the front, and it's tipped over to Brayden Schenn, and Brayden Schenn has a wide open net as the Flyers take a 1-0 lead. Everything seemed to go well in this game for the Flyers in the first period. They were dominating the Penguins. The Penguins were playing sloppy with the puck. Flyers were beating them physically. Penguins were making stupid mistakes, and they made another stupid mistake. Put the Flyers back on the power play. And then again, the Flyers strike again. They get a 2-goal lead on a Jake Voracek wrist shot as Giroux was able to fire it over to the Voracek. He took his time, waited, and fired it past Marc-Andre Fleury. And the Flyers took a 2-0 lead going into the third period. Into the second period, sorry. That's when the game got away from the Flyers. Second period was dominated by Pittsburgh from start to finish. The Flyers just played sloppy in the second period, and they played sloppy into the third period. They had the legs in the first period, and then they totally just fucked it up in the second and third period, and it showed Pittsburgh came out with a vengeance because Pittsburgh they looked like they had no heart going into this game in the first period, and it looked like the Flyers were just going to romp all over the Penguins, but not the case. Penguins give credit to their coach. He said something in the dressing room between the intermissions, the first and second intermission. The first intermission between the first and second period to get them fired up. Pittsburgh strikes. They get their first goal on a Trevor Daley wrist shot. Steve Mason was screened, so he was unable to see it. Fires it right through him, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are in the game. It's 2-1. Not that much further later, the face of the NHL, Crybaby Sidney Crosby, with a wrist shot that's just wicked, and only place where he could find it, he ties the game up with a wrist shot that beats Steve Mason over the left shoulder. We're tied 2-2. And then, again, Pittsburgh strikes on the power play, little tic-tac-toe passing, and it falls right out in front to Phil Kessel, who, in my opinion, has been a disaster for the Penguins this year. He showed up in this game. He didn't look like a disaster in this game with that little fat-ass body of his. Looks like he'll be getting a Happy Meal or two after the game from Sid the Kid, because he scores and puts the Penguins up 3-2 going into the third period, and we all know the Flyers' record going into the third period is not good. Third period gets in, the Flyers again they just could not find their legs, and the Penguins, it was evident. I mean, the Flyers had their chances in this game. I mean, they went 3 for 6 on the power play, which is good. I mean, they scored 3 power play goals this year. It's the first time this year, but it just wasn't enough. Pittsburgh extends their lead. They extend their lead to 4-2. Four straight unanswered goals by Pittsburgh. 2-on-1, Carl Hagelin slips it over to Phil Kessel, and Phil Kessel gets his second of the game. Not much I can say. It could have been 5-2. There was a point in the game where Letang threw it, and it hit both Clink and Clank. The post just needed to hit Clunk, but it hit the post and went out. But it was 4-2. Like I said, Phil Kessel gets his second of the game. Flyers are able to get within one. I mean, the comeback, about 4 minutes left. Delay of game penalty was called on the Penguins. Claude Giroux got it to the top of the slot, not the top of the slot, but towards his blue line. A little wrister go. Marc-Andre Fleury was he was screened, and the puck was able to find its way through. And the Flyers, they've been the king of the comebacks this year. They have the most games this year that they've come through. They've collected the most points. They've got 14 points. That's coming into going into the second period, that they've been able to come out and they've been able to come out and get away with a point. But they were unable to do that in this game. They fall short, 4-3. Here's the picture I have usually. Kind of lost for it. It was okay. It was an exciting game. First period, Brayden Schenn, Jake Voracek for the Flyers. Second period, Trevor Daley, Sidney Crosby, and Phil Kessel scored for the Penguins. And the third period, Phil Kessel scores for the Penguins, and Claude Giroux for the Flyers. That's all I'm going to say to this game. My 3 stars of the game: Phil Kessel, of course, he's got 2 goals. He scored 2 goals in this game. Claude Giroux is the second star, goal and an assist. And Sid the Kid is the third star of the game with his goal. Other than that, Flyers got to turn around Saturday evening, 7:30 on the Comcast network. They head to Brooklyn. They play the New York Islanders, weather permitting, because it's supposed to be a really bad snowstorm coming up the East Coast. I'm going to be stuck in it, and I'm going to be working outside in it. So that's the case on that one. But like I said, the Flyers have got to turn around. They're coming off 2 back-to-back losses here. Need to turn around if you're going to want to make the playoffs. But if not, they played really sloppy in this game. I'm not going to deny that. They started off strong. That was true, but they did start off strong. But that's pretty much it for this episode. Once again, Flyers fall to the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-3. Got a rebound Saturday night, 7:30 in Brooklyn against the New York Islanders. The game's on the Comcast network for those who live in the Philadelphia area. And as I always say, good night and good hockey.